Casey Dumont back between the sticks for the Glory then, coming in for Miranda Templeman. Only the 2 clean sheets this season, so she would love to go out with a stellar performance against the league's most potent attack. Melbourne City have seen fit to go in completely unchanged from the team that defeated Newcastle 4-1 a week ago, meaning Holly McNamara, wearing the number 9 shirt, will lead the line once again. Top of the Golden Boot by 2 with 14 goals ahead of Emily Gilnick and Tamiki Gallo. Last time these teams met, Melbourne City found themselves 2-0 down, only for a comeback engineered by Rihanna Pollicina with 2 goals, Catherine Harvey with 2 goals, and Laura Hughes with 1. And yet Laura Hughes is the only surviving player in the starters tonight. Pollicina's on the bench, Catherine Harvey watching from back home. Stephen Peters, the Perth Glory coach, wants to play spoiler tonight and has embraced the occasion. Let's hear his pre-game thoughts.
Melbourne City is a team that obviously everyone's got a great deal of respect for, the quality that they possess. We want to try and spoil the party, basically. They won the premiership in Perth last year, so we want to try and not let history repeat itself.
Stephen Peters' thoughts there. Perth huddled up pre-game, hoping that they can become the first team to knock off Melbourne City this season. Tonight's referee is Beck Mackey, assistants Amber Morris and Ellie Seaton, and the 4th official is Niall Gilmore. Michael Matriciani knows that history is just 90 minutes away. Let's hear his pre-game thoughts.
We need to do our part. We've put ourselves in this position that, you know, if we win, we'll be premiers. It's definitely not a message that we're talking about, that it's in our own hands. For me, as I've mentioned so many times throughout the course of the year, we're focusing on the things that we felt we can do better.
So Michael Matriciani's thoughts there. Of course, his team has only kept 7 clean sheets in 22 games this season, so even though they're undefeated, they have been far from infallible, and that combination between Lourdes Bosch and Holly McNamara will be key to making sure that if they do concede a goal tonight, they can outgun their opponents at the other end. So Perth break out of their huddle. It's their farewell. The men's team have already played their last Isuzu Ute A-League home game of the season. So this is farewell for the home fans to Glory football for another summer. And former Melbourne City player Naomi Chinema, wearing the number 13 there, will be hoping to play spoiler against her former side. Melbourne City's record, 15 wins, 7 draws, plus 30 goal difference. 1 more win and they will be premiers back-to-back. It'll be their 4th. They would be behind just Sydney with 5. Kick-off at the Sam Kerr Football Centre, and Perth Glory attacking the right of your screens in the purple against Melbourne City in the lighter blue. Straight out of play. No doubt Melbourne Victory players, if they're not watching as a completed team, there will be clusters of teammates all watching together, hoping that Perth might be able to do them the ultimate favour, and they can have sweet dreams about beating Brisbane at Amy Park tomorrow to steal in and finish first. The bad news for Victory is that even a draw would leave City in a near infallible position. A draw would mean that Melbourne Victory would have to beat Brisbane by 12 clear goals tomorrow, and thus break the league's record winning margin in the process to overtake the goal difference, such has been City's scoring power this season. So pretty much only a Perth win does it, as Melbourne City look to build. And here is Laura Hughes having an impact straight away in central midfield. A bit of space to send the ball through the right. Holly McNamara is going to run onto the ball here and twist around the corner. He's looking for Briley Henry advancing. Henry, who has hit form late in the season with a cluster of goals, and an early penalty shout here for Melbourne City. Tian McKenna sees the ball behind. She was at Melbourne City last season as well, McKenna, so up against plenty of familiar faces, would have defended Holly McNamara in training. Let's have another look. There's a little nibble there, but Beck Mackey not paying the penalty. And look at Holly McNamara's face. She was convinced. Instead, a corner kick. Melbourne City would have no doubt done their homework on the Sam Kerr Football Centre, but as you can see from the corner flag there, what can be quite a windy venue at times is dormant at kick-off tonight. Here's Apostolakis' corner, and Casey Dumont punches it out for a corner on the opposite side. Only 18 degrees at kick-off, so a cool night. Here's another look at Apostolakis. Just a drifting corner that might have been missing the target, but Dumont wasn't taking any risks. And Apostolakis, the 18-year-old, is taking the corners from both sides of the pitch in the early exchanges here. To the near post it goes, and Melbourne City lead. Taylor Otto with a near post run and a well-executed header. And Alexia Apostolakis put the corner in the perfect spot. And the Premiers-elect have an early goal. And they are looking good to finish the job tonight. It was a great run by Otto. Too tall for anyone trying to pursue her. Izzy Dalton the closest, and Naomi Chinema trailing behind. And Otto, depending on how charitable you feel about own goals, it's either her second or third of the season. I think formally it will only be her second after her goal away in Brisbane, but she's proving herself to be certainly an improving player when it comes to being a set-piece threat, the 27-year-old American. Also had a goal taken off her in the Women's Champions League only recently, as it was tapped in on the goal line by Mariana Speckmeyer, even though it was already goal-bound. So the head of Taylor Otto is the difference. 5th career goal, and Melbourne City have set an early mark. Grace Johnston. Last time these teams met, it was Glory who led 2-0 back in round 1. For Melbourne City to come back and win 5-2. Extraordinary game at control cyber pitch. Little did we know, as much as Melbourne City were more or less every expert's pre-season pick to finish top of the league over the course of 23 games, few of us would have expected that they would fall behind in so many games, concede the number of goals that they have over the course of the campaign. They do always give their opponents a chance to find the back of the net. The question is, can the opponents stop them from being free scoring at the other? Melina Mires, the goalkeeper, rolls it out to the captain, Rebecca Stock. Apostolakis, great control. Of course, was recently called into Matilda's camp as a train-on. Apostolakis, not an official member of the squad. Georgia Cassidy now for Perth. Oni Zog, Grace Johnston, passing move comes unstuck. Hughes won the ball back. Now McNamara through pass. Lourdes Bosch. Tried one more ball, looking for McKenna. Bosch wins it back edge of the box. Briley Henry, it's 2. Melbourne City have come flying out of the blocks. And Briley Henry, when she is in scoring form, they tend to come in streaks. Melbourne City looking good, and they have put a gap in this game before the 10-minute mark. The persistence of Bosch, and then Henry following up a good close-range finish. Generally where she's at her best when it comes to goal scoring. And after netting City's 4th against Newcastle last weekend, Henry now has her 4th of the campaign and 11th career. And Melbourne City have a 2-0 lead that has left the home fans at Sam Kerr Football Centre stunned in silence. That's now 4 goals in 7 games for Briley Henry, and that's after she broke a 34-game goalless streak against Sydney FC. But now that she's in scoring form, they're starting to come with regularity, as Perth Glory's Megan Wynn is trapped offside here. 20th appearance of the season for Wynn, but hasn't been able to find the back of the net. The Welsh international in her first season of Ninja A-League. Perth a little bit rocked at the moment because Melbourne City have arrived at absolute top gear. And of course, they would have known for some weeks now that they were locked into the top 2, meaning that they get next weekend off before the semi-finals, and perhaps that is why you're seeing such a ferocious display in a completely unrotated team, because no one wants to give up their spot. You look at that Melbourne City bench. Rihanna Policina, Shelby McMahon. Have a look at the foul here. The veteran TJ Vainich, who has won 3 championships previously at this club. There are so many replacements that could come in if anyone's off the boil. So it's a team that keeps themselves sharp, and crucially, they know they've got a week off next weekend when the elimination finals are getting played, so they can leave it all out on the pitch tonight. They need to think of self-preservation. Switch out to Apostolakis on the left. Doesn't quite work this time. Johnston, Apostolakis, ball stays in. Battle ensues. And then Zog comes across to clear. Now there's a belated whistle. Johnston takes the throw in. O'Donoghue. Neat pass. McKenna. Abdul Massi. Izzy Dalton. He's going to shoot from distance. Shoots it right into the back of Taylor Otto, who turned away at the last second. Tian McKenna. Now Ella Abdul Massi. Goes to ground, and it will be a wide free kick for the Glory. Good persistence from McKenna and Abdul Massi. You can tell it's a cold night because the long sleeves are on. Here's another look at how Lourdes Bosch caught the feet of the Glory's 18-year-old midfielder. Made her debut as a 15-year-old at the Western Sydney Wanderers. This is her first season in the West, and she's got another former Wanderer there, Susan Fonsong-Kam, discussing the angle of this free kick. Elena Mires has set 3 in the wall. So will it be the power of Abdul Massi or perhaps the finesse of Fonsong-Kam? Melbourne City, interesting. They've chosen 3 of their shorter players in the defensive wall here. Maybe Elena Mires just wants a line of sight to exactly what's happening. There's a bit of a to-do here about the foam that the referee uses to mark where the free kick is to be taken from. I think Beck Mackey's not realised that Fonsong-Kam threw the foam out of the way. Now the referee is saying take the free kick from where the foam landed. We're set, we're ready. And it is going to be Fonsong-Kam. Can Perth halve the deficit? Fonsong-Kam. And a header, a free header, and it's hit the underside of the crossbar, and now appeals for a handball, and a penalty will be given. Oni Zog hasn't scored for Perth this season. And Rebecca Stott will receive a yellow card because, well, I'm not sure why. Let's see. Well, Mires is there, but that ball's going in. I think there's a case for a red. Maybe Rebecca Stott with a lucky escape. Penalty kick given, and Perth can halve the deficit. And for Stott, a red card obviously would have meant suspension for the first leg of the semi-finals. So that could have had monumental consequences. So the City captain is in the book, and Perth Glory are at the penalty spot. Susan Fonsong-Kam's only goal this season was a penalty on her comeback night after a long-term injury. It was into this very net against Western United. Elena Mires has saved a penalty this season from Tamiki Yalla. Here's Fonsong-Kam. And even though Mires went the right way, Perth Glory have a goal back. Susan Fox on cam, second of the season. And Perth Glory, very businesslike in their celebrations. Well, there's another look. I think there will be a few questions. I'm sure the legal eagles that love the laws of the game might have an easier explanation as to why it's only a yellow and not a red. The bottom line is, it is Perth Glory 1, trailing Melbourne City 2, and what a flying start. 3 goals by the 12-minute mark. So kickoff, Melbourne City. We know they are not infallible when it comes to conceding goals, and they have only kept 7 clean sheets now in 23 games in the league this season. However, they are in the front. Perth, though, they've got the crowd coming to life. Megan Wynn holds up and waits for support. Grace Johnston swings it in. Volleyed away. Back into the box, though. O'Donoghue. Johnston persisting, but Henry is back to help. Risky pass. Dalton, Wynn, and just a bit too much on the ball for Johnston, but this is what the Glory needed. They've got a bumper home crowd here for their final home game of the season. They want to cheer, they want to make some noise. Stott. Reorganising the defence now. Bosch. Cassidy. Zog's long ball. Wynn challenging. O'Donoghue. O'Donoghue contesting the ball there. The referee saying it is a free kick, not a throw-in. So Letitia McKenna to take. Of course, it's the battle between the two McKenna sisters tonight. Letitia for Melbourne City and Tian for the Perth Glory. They were at Melbourne City together last season. They are both Perth locals. City will be seeking to restore their 2-goal buffer here. McKenna's free kick. No, over her head. Henry was coming in late. Body sprawled in the penalty area. In the meantime, Apostolakis. Long ball from Mires, straight onto the head of Zog. McKenna. High ball, Apostolakis trying to judge. The shouts of the crowd perhaps gave away that there was pressure coming. Johnston. Cassidy. Switch of flanks, an ambitious one. It's set quite a task for McKenna, but she's equal to it. Tian McKenna wins a corner kick for the Glory. Izzy Dalton on corner taking duty. See, the wind is just starting to pick up. When there is wind at the Sam Kerr Football Centre, it always favours the left of screen. Perth's first corner of the match. And it comes, and what a chance for Chinema. That could have been Perth level, and Chinema, who does have one goal this season, a header against Adelaide, not able to rise to that one there and score against her former club. Just read it best in between both Otto and Rostbacken, but couldn't quite get over the ball. And so as much as Melbourne City may have flown to a 2-0 lead, Perth have hit back. It's a game with only pride and the power of being a spoiler on the line for them. Their season finals hopes mathematically ended by Sydney FC last weekend. Stott's long ball. Bosch. Handball against McKenna. Who's now protesting. McKenna, who has been sent off once this season against the Victory, picked up 2 yellow cards in quick succession. So we saw Letitia McKenna with a free kick a little bit further and wider than this a couple of minutes ago. This one is arguably in shooting range if the wind picks up. Otherwise, it might be a case of aiming for Taylor Otto once again inside the penalty area. McKenna drifts it in. Dumont double fist away. Out of danger yet, Perth. McKenna, second time ball. And a sliced clearance from Zopp. Aerial duel. Rostbacken. Hughes. Rostbacken on the right sideline. Otto comfortable with the back pass. McNamara. Possession given away. Zodd. Abdul Massey went to ground. Play continues. Fonsong Cam able to turn and face. Mainly win ahead of the ball though. Cassidy's path blocked, but she's going to get a second chance here. Cassidy, another of the Perth Glory players who had a long stretch out of the team injured this season. There's some risk of it being a season ender, but she's been able to get back for the last 3 weeks of the campaign. Perth season dotted with injury replacement players that have come in for short cameos, be it Morgan Roberts, Caitlin Douglas, Holly Palmer. They all had a role to play, allowing Glory to fill the bench. Dalton is going to shoot from distance, and an easy catch from Elena Mires. Albeit a shot on target. Ross Backen, able to advance into the attacking half, but wants to hit the brakes. Number 81 in the A-League Women's for Carly Ross Backen tonight. About to complete a full home and away campaign, 22 games out of 23. A fantastic return after so many issues with injuries, more or less ever since she was in the 2019 World Cup squad. Here's Bosch. Can't get past Jan McKenna, who's defending well one-on-one. So we do have the throw to try again, taken quickly. McNamara, Bosch, Letitia McKenna. Perth Glory with numbers back in defence. Penalty area at the moment. And they're going to clear their lines. Abdul Massi gets the ball away. There's the possession so far. Melbourne City pride themselves on being a ball-dominant team. Perth are putting up a good fight. Hughes not able to advance against Hughes. Kostelakis moving into a central position. Broken play. To steer it back out to the left. Grace Johnston, the 20-year-old. Season ended with a broken foot last campaign, but she's played 22, again out of 23 this season for Perth, so a very successful comeback, successful rehab. Hard at work tonight though, playing as the right back in this Glory team. Where City scored from a corner earlier in the night, Perth have found themselves having to defend another one here. Again, it's Alexia Kostelakis who will take. So, after much anticipation, here comes the corner. And the plan has worked again. Taylor Otto heads in her second of the game. Almost an action replay of Otto's first of the night. She has a double. And Alexia Kostelakis with two perfect corners, leading to 2 assists. Melbourne City's 2-goal buffer is restored, and they lead 3-1. Sometimes, even when you know what's coming, it's hard to prevent. Taylor Otto just has a giddy delight every time she scores a goal, and this is no exception. I don't think it's going to matter how many she scores. They're always met with a degree of surprise and disbelief. Now it's Spine back on the job, defending at the centre of defence. So Otto has 2 tonight alone, and is now up to 6 career, and Melbourne City have been able to put themselves at a 2-goal advantage once again. We are only just past a quarter of the way through the 90 minutes. Could be on for another very high-scoring game. Of course, these two exchanged 7 goals when they met back in round 1. A lot has changed since then, but we've got 4 already tonight. There's a look at Abdul Massi tangling with Bosch. Mires pass to Otto. Perth pressing. Wynn is down. City countering in the meantime. Stop. McKenna. Great skill from Bosch. Can't find McNamara at the edge of the box though. Gets a second chance. Finds McNamara this time. Quick layoff. Davidson trying to thread it back through. Now the ball has been put out because Megan Wynn is still down, and this would be an unfortunate end to her time in Australia. This is an injury that sees her have to leave the game. Trainer out immediately, and it's a left knee concern here for Megan Wynn. So tests ongoing here for former Wales international. Perth are going in for a powwow. Here's another look at Wynn chasing, and gee, it's innocuous. She kind of plants in the turf a little, at least on that angle. Do we see something more there? Hard to say. Wynn, who's won 19 caps for the Welsh national team. Had a pretty good resume before coming to Australia, but we did see her play heavily bandaged for so much of the season. And you could tell at times it was limiting her top speed. She has played without the bandages for the last 5 or 6 weeks. Hopefully, a bit of attention from the physio means repairs on the run have worked.
Yeah, sounds good.
Final home and away game of the season Casey Dumont had been hoping for so far. 3 goals in the back of the net before the 30-minute mark. So over here, Grace Johnston there, negotiating who's giving the ball back to who. So Melbourne City will build from the back with Milena Mearns. Postelakis allowed an acre of space to run into and exploit in the midfield. Davidson. See Wynn running back on, so moving freely, which is a good sign. Would have been a really unfortunate way to end her season in Australia had been with an injury. Chinema taking preventative measures to keep the ball away from Bosch, but it's going to be a City throw-in right next to the corner flag. McNamara attempting a flick header. It's more of an up and under. Cassidy, O'Donoghue. Given away by Otto, but only briefly. Melbourne City had numbers covering, and possession is quickly won back. Briley Henry tried to exploit a little gap. Now a big deflection. That requires a catch from Casey Dumont. Challenged the much shorter Fonsong Cam. Spilled the ball effectively enough. McKenna stuck in a 1-on-2. Hughes comes in to help out. Perth Glory do have possession back, but at the centre of defence. Johnston. Wynn. Able to extract the ball from a 1-on-3, but the result is a long pass, which Stott seemingly has covered. Fonsong Cam in the vicinity. Mires. Comes to Hughes. Wynn. Cuts it back. And the shot once, twice. Series of deflections. Wynn is down again. Sarah O'Donoghue was foiled. Oh, and Megan Wynn looks in a bit of distress again here. She's shaking her head. Even though she was seemingly okay when she came back on, maybe there was a bit of instability in the knee and it's given way again. But Mires, that pass to Hughes was the initial problem. Wynn's efforts to win the ball came at her own expense, and Hughes with two crucial blocks to stop Sarah O'Donoghue, who never really caught the strike that well either time. When Wynn knew straight away. Tamika Lazaro, the Glory physio, is going to walk with Megan Wynn to the sidelines. And Pete Novakovsky, one of the Glory assistant coaches, is putting in the paperwork. So unfortunately, Megan Wynn's night and season and having to leave the game hurt. And Kelly Brown, who's had her own battles with injury this season, is going to come on. So Megan Wynn leaves the game in the 35th minute. And Kelly Brown, the recently minted New Zealand international striker, who's also found the back of the net 5 times for Glory this season, one of which was against Melbourne City back in round 1, is into the game. And she's on the end of this throw in here. It's cleared away for another Glory throw-in. Brown, who's had an on-and-off battle with various injuries throughout the campaign, is going to take a long throw straight away into the action. Follows up here, nodding over to Cassidy. A high ball needs to be dealt with. Head tennis, back and forth. Now out in front of Bosch. There's Bosch around the corner, but not able to keep it in. So 10 minutes of regulation time to go in the first half. Melbourne City enjoying a 3-1 lead, which would see them win their 4th premiership here tonight, the final round of the season. Cassidy with the high clearance. Brown judged it well against the line. O'Donoghue to Johnston. McNamara sends it through the left channel. Briley Henry off and racing. Judged offside by Ellie Seaton, the assistant referee. Henry, who scored the second of Melbourne City's 3 goals. Chinema. Goes out. You know it's a healthy crowd because there are fans lining the fence on the outer side at the Sam Kerr Football Centre. That means the grandstand is chock full. Fonsong Cam. Build-up play with Dalton, but The next pass straight back to City feet, Rossbacken. Henry against Cassidy. Cassidy pushes it onto O'Donoghue. Henry getting back to cover. Dalton. City repel. Stott calms everything down. McKenna. Mara has gone down with a knock to the foot. See her now walking as she's got herself back up and jogging it off. Chat in the ear of referee Beck Mackey about the challenge that felled her. She returns to her position at the top of the attack. Stott. Hughes. Apostolakis. Rossbacken. City very patient in their build-up here. Rossbacken, McNamara, Davidson, McKenna. What a move! What a goal! Melbourne City at their brilliant best. And Holly McNamara's 15th of the season might just be the team goal of the season. It was patient, and then there was a change of pace, one-touch passing, and Melbourne City have sliced and diced their way through. A wonderful assist for Letitia McKenna. And of course, it was Holly McNamara applying the finishing touch. That is as good as it gets. McNamara, 15 goals in 17 games. She's only failed to score in one of her last 8 appearances. She's only failed to score in 2 of her last 11 appearances. This is one of the great A-League seasons we are witnessing from any player. And she now has a 3-goal lead at the top of the Golden Boot. She's probably saying, you think you can score 3 without me getting in on the fun? Let's make it 4. Perth Glory, they can just put their hands up and say, that was a little bit too good. What can we do? 5 minutes to go in the first half. And I tell you what, unless you're a Melbourne Victory player wanting to get a bit of sleep before tomorrow's game, you'd have no reason not to watch the second half when there are goals like that in the back of the net, because that was top class. Stott. A long ball this time. City mixing it up. Looking to Glory guessing, and a free kick here. Kelly Brown, Perth looking to grab one of these goals back. Fonts on cam, tries to feed it through to Brown. They've got some of their better attacking talents on the pitch here, the Glory. In this injury hit season, Megan Wynn, the latest victim, but they have brought on Kelly Brown to replace her. Of course, the focus has rightfully been on City moving 5 points clear at the top of the league with a win, which would leave them uncatchable. But Glory did come into tonight where, staying with play here, before we get back to the context of Glory's season, McKenna able to clear into touch. Glory is sitting 10th on the table. A win tonight would have pushed them above Wellington before they play against Western United on Sunday. McNamara hits the byline, cutbacks on. Who's at the top of the box? Postolakis skies the chance. Postolakis, who has got forward to score twice this season. Not able to net a third. There's another look at the technique on the left foot. Yes, Glory could have moved to 25 points had they won, but they would have still remained behind Sydney FC, who have a considerably better goal difference even after losing to Adelaide earlier today. Taylor Otto pushed a long way up the pitch to the centre-back and fouled Sarah O'Donoghue. Hughes really has set herself for the midfield battle tonight. Stott. Davidson. Donoghue put herself in the way and won the ball back. Fonsoncam. O'Donoghue. Davidson for City. Namara accelerating ahead of the ball. The pass is played now. Chinema indecisive initially, but then went through and won the ball. Forward Holly McNamara in the process. Maybe a bit of chat going on between former teammates there. Stott. Edge of the box. Stott. And Dumont makes the save. Rebecca Stott looking for her first goal since December of 2023. And Dumont perhaps right to say to the defence, come on now, close it down. It's just a roaming run, and Stott thought, well, I'm here at the top of the box, let's have a go. We're about to find out how many minutes of stoppage time at the end of this first half. It's been full of goals and full of entertainment.
There'll be a minimum of 4 minutes time added on.
4 additional minutes, so reflecting the number of goals and also the injury to Megan Wynn. So still plenty of time for another change to the scoreline. Brings the ball to a standstill. Perth have spent so much of this first half chasing shadows. You do wonder how much they have left in the legs before they need a break here. To their credit, they have pressed, they have been aggressive, they have tried to attack. It's left them exposed to concede in the other direction, but certainly made for quite the spectacle. Dalton, O'Donoghue. That crossfield pass is going to slide off Henry's head and give Johnston a chance. Now Kelly Brown. Dalton, first time ball. Johnston continued her run. Johnston, an attempt to drive the ball into the penalty area, but skewed it out for a goal kick. McKenna. Pass to Mires. Half of stoppage time has expired. Davidson. Now McKenna. Forced backwards once again. Otto. 2 goals in this half on a hat-trick, the centre-back. It's a rarity, but we did see Victory centre-back Kayla Morrison score a hat-trick against the Newcastle Jets season before last, so not totally unprecedented in the Ninja A-League. Right now, defending is the top priority because O'Donoghue has been able to steal the ball away off Otto, and now Kelly Brown, first time shot, and a good save by Mires, parrying it and then catching. Again, the home fans, they want to roar this Glory team on. And whenever there's an attacking chance, they really do come to life. O'Donoghue there, it looked a little underhit initially, but no, it was perfectly weighted. Kelly Brown struck it first time, but Mires with a good outstretched hand. Again, Mires just stops the ball and says, "You want to play? Come and play. Come and chase us." Perth are going to win the ball back, so maybe one last salvo before the halftime whistle for the home team. O'Donoghue, good sidestep. Advantage given as well because there was contact on the way. No second free kick forthcoming though. City have possession back, only seconds left to play with now. They might calm this down, wait for the halftime whistle. What a first half. Melbourne City came to Perth needing to win to secure top spot on the table. Two-headed goals from Taylor Otto, almost carbon copies of one another. Holly McNamara's 15th of the season and Briley Henry's 4th. Means that even though Perth did score from the penalty spot via Susan Fonsong Cam in a moment of acrimony involving a handball on the goal line, it is Melbourne City on track to be the premiers of the Ninja A-League. 45 minutes to go in this one. It's Perth Glory 1, Melbourne City 4. So let's get into the highlights. What an action-packed first half. It was Alexia Apostolakis with a perfectly delivered corner. Taylor Otto near post run. Casey Dumont left a mere spectator as the power and placement of the header and the angle of it too proved too difficult to save. And that was a perfect start. Then Lourdes Bosch, a bit of persistence here to go and win the ball off Oni Zog. Feed it through to Briley Henry, and that's a good finish under the oncoming Casey Dumont. And that was 2-0. And Melbourne City looking like they were going to run up the numbers. But this handball here from Rebecca Stott, initially off the crossbar, and then Oni Zog trying to score her first Perth Glory goal, not to be, but Susan Fonsong Cam stepped up and did net her second of the season from the penalty spot. But Perth Glory, they hadn't learnt their lesson. And even though the angle was a bit more acute this time, Taylor Otto with a very similar header. And again, it was Alexia Apostolakis with a well-delivered corner. And then Holly McNamara wanted to get in on the fun, and this was simply the finishing touch of what was a marvellous passing move from Melbourne City. And number 15 of the season for the Golden Boot leader. Here are the numbers. You can see Melbourne City almost up to 60% possession. 4 goals from 5 shots on target. Shows how lethal that they've been in front of goal. What will the second half hold? Melbourne City in complete control at the moment.
Make it with Ninja. Barbecues are better with electric grills that sear and char like a gas grill. Plus you can also barbecue smoke when you're fly outdoors. Backyard bashes are better with pizza ovens that give you crispy crust, high heat roasting and barbecue smoking. No matter how you're spending your time outdoors, bring the indoors outdoors with Ninja. There's a mountain of football on Paramount Plus. The only place to see every A-Leagues, Combat Matildas and Subway Socceroos game. stream every game, every goal and every moment live on Paramount Plus. Get ready to cheer. Just like Liberty supports the A-Leagues, they're on your team too. Whether you're planning a holiday or buying a new home, they can provide the assist you need to keep your free thinking goals. Liberty, loans for free thinkers. Fans, the end of season sale is here. It's your chance to grab a bargain. For a limited time, enjoy up to 50% off the full range at the merch stand and online. That's right, you can get your hands on this season's kits, supporter gear, and more, all at unbeatable prices. Don't miss out. Head to the merch stand today or online until the 30th of April to grab yourself a deal.
Halftime score at the Sam Kerr Football Centre is Perth Glory 1 trailing Melbourne City 4. There's a big game coming up tomorrow afternoon as one of 3 on your Saturday in the Ninja A-League. Melbourne Victory hosting the Brisbane Roar. For a preview, let's hear from former Matilda Teresa Polias and your host, Nalin Master.
We've got a huge clash in the Ninja A-League as Melbourne Victory are taking on Brisbane Roar. Now, Teresa, Victory will know if they still got a shot at that Premier's plate after Melbourne City play on Friday night. How important is it for them to try and just keep their mindset focused on this game?
Yeah, look, either way, I think they'll want to end their season strongly and aim for a real commanding performance defensively and offensively before finals.
Victory did manage to get that scrappy 1-0 win last week. How can they try and put in a more complete, composed performance this time around?
They definitely had plenty of scrappy wins over the season, but I think that's what makes them a great team. And, you know, they're still looking to find their best form, I think. But when you look at it, they've done incredibly well to keep up with Melbourne City at the top of the ladder there. So, you know, for them to be serious title contenders, they'll need to create, I think, more clear-cut chances for the likes of, I guess, Emily Gilnick and obviously finish them. And at the other end, they'll be wanting to keep a clean sheet.
As for the visitors in Brisbane Roar, at the start of this season, we were just in awe of their attack and how much they offered on the pitch. But then second half, they've kind of just regressed a little bit. What do you put that down to?
Yeah, look, I think it's been a season of 2 halves, really, and they've definitely lost their way. And I just think they couldn't recover mentally or tactically or physically from a few of the challenges that they faced. You know, there are enough positives, though, enough young players to hopefully build on for next season, I think.
There's a lot of youngsters in that team, but they can also lean on the experience of someone like Tamika Yallop, who scored a hat-trick in the last game now. She's facing up against her fellow Matildas forward in Emily Gilnick. What do you make of that head-to-head battle?
Yeah, it'll be a real interesting battle out there, and Yallop with the recent hat-trick, Gilnick in good form and still challenging for that golden boot. So I think both can potentially do a lot of damage in this game, but it'll just come down to which player gets the best service from their team around them on the day.
I think we can certainly expect a lot of goals and a lot of fireworks in this one. It's Victory up against Brisbane Roar live on Paramount Plus or 10 Play.
Let's do it.
Big thanks to Teresa and Narlene for the preview. So let's hear from the Melbourne Victory coach, Jeff Hopkins, who had front of mind that his team did lose 2-0 to the Brisbane Roar when they met back in round 9.
Yeah, look, what'll be will be, and we'll know on Saturday morning, Friday night, what we've got to do, or whether we can, whether we've got a premiership to play for or not. But also, if there's bigger things to play for as well. We're looking at, obviously, fantastic if we get the opportunity to play for the premiership on Saturday. Fantastic, it's what we're hoping for. But there's a championship to play for, and that's the main aim. I think they're a little bit different from what they were. They were absolutely flying that game. Since that game, it kind of opened our eyes a little bit about how intense we've got to be in the way that we play, how tough we've got to be, what sort of intensity we've got to play the game at, and kind of did us a little bit of a favour then. There's 24 players fit and ready to go, and 16 players on the team sheet.
Just like the big supporters the A-Leagues, they're on your team too. Whether you're planning a holiday or buying a new home, they can provide the assist you need in pre-thinking goals. Libby, loans for pre-thinkers. Ninja, barbecues and burgers, electric grills, and searing china and gas grill. Plus grills and barbecue smoke and fire outdoors. Backyard bashes are better with pizza ovens than any crispy crust. Only roasting and barbecue smoking. No matter how you're spending your time outdoors, bring the indoors, outdoors, and enjoy.
Of course, if you're enjoying the Ninja A-League, there's so much more you can see on the A-League's website and YouTube channel. Here's what you can find out.
Hello Hello and welcome to the Isuzu Ute A-League download episode. I don't know what it is.
Let's keep the tension. No, definitely not.
Hello and welcome to Dub Zone. I'm Amy Duggan.
She's the best and most exciting player going around.
And the supporting class of Melbourne City has been outstanding.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Total A-Leagues. I'm Vince Regari. That's still Tommy Orr. Usually is. And there's usually a lot happening in the A-League men.
Welcome to the warm-up. Daniel Georgievski's with me. Whooshka, through it. Nutmeg himself.
Welcome to the Tactician. I'm Daniel McBreen. Watch his head here. He has a little look there. Who's in the middle? Who's coming for me? I've got time to cross that ball and a good finish.
So if you want to find out more, scan the QR code or check out the A-League's website and YouTube channel. Dub Zone every week, of course, focusing exclusively on the Ninja A-League. No doubt there will be some talking points already out of just the Friday games, because barring an all-time comeback, Melbourne City will be premiers tonight. There have only been 2 instances in A-League women's history where a team has come back from 3 goals down to draw. The team has never come back from a 3-goal deficit to win, and that is in the competition's entire history. So Perth Glory find themselves 4-1 in arrears, and Melbourne City find themselves with, well, one-handed 4 fingers on consecutive top-of-the-ladder finishes. We haven't seen a confrontation yet between the McKenna sisters. They've largely operated in different areas of the pitch. See a very cold Holly McNamara. It was 18 degrees at kickoff and getting cooler. The wind picks up. I might see a bit more of that in the second half. What we might also see a bit more of is goal scoring, because we were treated to 5 in the first 45 minutes. What remains in the second 45? It's Perth's farewell to season 24-25. Melbourne City's last tune-up before they go straight to a 2-leg semi-final against the lowest advancing seed from the elimination finals, which are, of course, 3v6 and 4v5. We have no idea, other than Adelaide in third, who else is going to finish where, because the order of the other teams is going to be sorted out over the next 2 days. And that's why you can't take your eyes off the Ninja A-League at the moment. Naomi Chinema starting from the centre of defence. O'Donoghue couldn't control it. There have been no substitutions for either team during the half-time break. Perth did have a forced change in the first half, with Megan Wynn coming off with a knee concern, replaced by Kelly Brown. Melbourne City through the right. Bosch. Trot on the ball and now regains feet. Bosch twisting and turning. Clayton keeping's off against McKenna, who said enough of that. And Abdul Massi is able to clear. Kelly Brown takes it back to Abdul Massi. Got to hurry. Hughes. McNamara. Perth with Brown, hitting a long ball. Soncam was a lone hand there, had no real support. And Melbourne City come away with possession. Stott, ball stuck between the feet, is going to get caught in possession. Fonsoncam saved by Mires. A second chance. Brown saved again. Milena Mires able to bail out Rebecca Stott. After a slip in possession from the City captain, the goalkeeper comes to the rescue. And Fonsoncam had plenty of time to size it up, and Mires, well, got down and blocked the first shot and then foiled Kelly Brown by bravely diving in. Stott had to be careful on a yellow there, didn't want to foul Fonsoncam, because that would have been game over and suspension for leg 1 of the semi. Here's the resulting corner. It's allowed to bounce. We've got a Perth player down in back play, and it's Sarah O'Donoghue. She's rubbing her knee and flexing her leg here, but straight back up. Looking a little proppy though. Watch this space on Sarah O'Donoghue. Is she able to run it off or not? This Melbourne City team, 55 goals scored this season, 22 conceded, so almost 1 per game average. It's like that from Stott, why they have only kept clean sheets on 7 occasions in 23 games this season in the A-League Women's. kick going Glory's way. Waiting for the ball to be returned to the spot of the free kick here, which Georgia Cassidy will take. Has ultimately ended up playing 16 games this season, Cassidy, so even though she did miss a chunk of the season with injury, she's still been able to add to her games tally. Number 35 tonight for the 19-year-old. She's going for distance here with this free kick, and well caught by Milena Meares. So a lively first 4.5 minutes of the second half. It feels like this game isn't slowing down anytime soon. There are scoring chances in the offing. Zog's pass, Hughes. Chased down her own header. Bosch. Rossbacken. Bosch. Able to catch Chinema. Tian McKenna. Davidson. Henry knocks it back for Letitia McKenna. Popped forward again. Henry holding off Cassidy. McKenna, third pass in the move. Bosch wanted to square it initially. Now it breaks kindly. It breaks the hands of Dumont, and it's cleared off the line. Well, only Zog has saved the day and prevented Perth Glory from conceding a fifth. Holly McNamara went chasing it into the net. She ended up in the net, but the ball did not. So let's have another look. Bosch was trying to square it initially, then it broke kindly, everything opened up. Casey Dumont batted it on, and then, well, the high boot there from Oni Zog. I wonder if McNamara was fouled. It's one thing to clear the ball, but she's cleared it with a high boot. And a high boot to the face is a foul. In theory, a penalty kick. Not to be. McNamara is back on her feet. There's always a degree of concern when McNamara is down, but she was bravely putting her head in where Zog's boot was clearing the ball. We saw a rather visually confronting eye injury for foul here by Chinema. An eye injury for Zoe Toland in the earlier game in Adelaide today, which drew a lot of blood, but Toland was able to at least play on with a head bandage for the cut. McNamara thankfully not opened up by the boot there, nor by Naomi Chinema shoving her to the ground here. She's in the wars. Melbourne City have a wide free kick. Michael Matriciani watching on from the sideline. Melbourne City substitutes warming up in the background. It's Letitia McKenna back in her hometown, trying to come up with a perfect free kick. We've seen 2 goals from corners. Who's marking Taylor Otto? Could it be a hat-trick right here for the centre-back? McKenna hangs it high. Otto, first contact. McNamara, and now Dumont able to collect the ball. Well, we found the head of Taylor Otto, but not with any goal-bound force. Abdul Massey. Stop. Chinema with a forceful header, and coming back from an offside position was Susan Fonsong-Cam. Didn't get the right side of the Melbourne City defensive line in the nick of time. Stephen Peters and assistant coach Tiana Gauchi on the sidelines. Cassidy clears. pleased with enough strength that the ball ran out for a goal kick in the end. That was kicked from inside her defensive half, but they were able to make a play at it. You do wonder if we are meandering towards Melbourne City emptying the bench, and with the 3-goal buffer giving some of their substitutes a run. Mirez's clearance. Zog. Oh, Johnston and Zog both backed off. It was music to Laura Hughes' ears. 101st Matilda's cap during the course of this Ninja A-League season, of course. Fonson Camp stuck against 2 defenders. Apostolakis, one of them. Namara not able to roll away from Cassidy, so it's slow progress down the left sideline at the moment. Chinema. McNamara holding the ball up. Hughes. Riley Henry. Great pass from McNamara for Hughes. Oh, that would have been a move not quite the equal of the 4th goal in the first half, but still very well worked. Just over 10 minutes into the second half. That was nearly another goal for Melbourne City. Henry, McNamara, and then Hughes at the end of the move, and just the level of cohesion between this team. They are really putting on a show tonight. Opposition coaches can study the tape as much as they want. It's going to take a bit of a defensive master plan to be able to block those passing channels and stifle those runs come finals. Imagine that the likes of Victory coach Jeff Hopkins and Mariners coach Tim Husband would be plotting away just in case it's Victory and City in the grand final, or Mariners and City in the semis. McNamara able to get in front and eventually fouled. Seemingly a couple of fouls that could have been whistled there by Zog, and eventually the free kick is given and a yellow card. So Nyechi Zog will now have to watch her steps. Second yellow card of the game, joining Rebecca Stott of City in the book. McNamara got up smiling after the free kick was given. Zog, 22nd game out of 23. It's been an ever-present for Glory, one of the players they have been able to rely on in a season with so much turbulence for player availability. Ball through the left here. Henry, stopped by Zog. Henry against Zog again. This time it takes a big deflection to McNamara, and Cassidy's able to nick it off her and clear away. Otto, Apostolakis, Stott to weave through the midfield and send it to Riley Henry. The return ball, no one running on. It's all Glory. So meandering towards the hour mark at present. No change to the halftime score. A couple of good chances already, though, for both teams, it must be said. Zog clearing a chance off the line for Melbourne City. Melina Mires with a great double save to foil both Susan Fonson-Cam and Kelly Brown. Perth might be on here. Cross comes into the clutches of Stott, who controlled a bouncing ball and tried to clear. However, second time ball's coming back in. Stott with an up and under header. McKenna bursting through. Tiana McKenna, that is, for the glory. Chinema in space. Going for the spectacular was O'Donoghue, and maybe winded herself on the landing. The referee's going to whistle play dead here. Sarah O'Donoghue. She's saying I'm all right. Chinema drove in the cross, and well, O'Donoghue was a mix of going for the spectacular and then maybe also trying not to get hit in the face by the ball. The 19-year-old Queenslander who's come across the country for A-League Women's game time. McNamara. Pass out to Bosch was excellent. Bosch in space. Plays it early. Henry, the header on, McNamara, and the first touch was a little heavy. So she blazes into the perimeter fence in frustration. It was a cushioned header from Briley Henry into her path, but let's take another look. Bosch's cross, Henry, and, well, the presence of Cassidy and also the awkwardness of the bounce. It's not going to stop City from attacking again here, and this time it's Casey Dumont sliding in at the feet of Briley Henry. Rossbacken rolls it back to Melina Mires. So we've crossed the hour mark now. Melbourne City 4-1 up. If you've seen the goals on social media and decided to jump on to tonight's broadcast, Perth Glory are still attacking and still trying to chip away at this deficit. They're not going to just lay down and be blown away here as Melbourne City round out an undefeated home and away campaign. Tiana McKenna's cross, the ball had crossed the line, it is a throw. And we are going to see substitution activity on the sideline. Misha Anderson and Izzy Folletta coming on, and Sarah O'Donoghue is leaving the game. For the Perth local, Anderson, and Abdul Massi also comes off for another Perth youngster in Izzy Folletta. But Anderson in her first A-League Women's season, the 19-year-old making her 10th appearance. All of the players subbed off. However, Abdul Massi will have happy memories of this season. Scored her first A-League Women's goal, and it was a match winner against the Brisbane Roar. The 3-2 winners. Perth Glory stolen in the last minute. Anderson, first touch off the bench. It's gone into defence, so it's going to be a tall order defending against this Melbourne City attack. Here's Folletta, also had a match-winning goal of her own against the Western Sydney Wanderers, so a signature moment for a couple of Perth Glory players this season. Davidson. McNamara able to split the centre backs, and then Briley Henry just offers it up to Casey Dumont. Didn't strike it with enough power to really trouble the goalkeeper at close range. And now Perth, quick in transition. Down the right flank they go. Fonson-Cam just holding things up now though. Everything will slow down as she goes back to Zog. Johnston's cross, a little shallow. Stott, Davidson. Letitia McKenna. Johnston. Pass to Kelly Brown, who's met with the offside flag. So Melbourne City have seen Perth Glory make a double change, and now they're going to answer with one of their own. And Holly McNamara's home and away season will end with 15 goals to her name. She is top of the Golden Boot. It's going to take a hat-trick from either Emily Gielnik or Tamiki Yallop in the Melbourne Victory versus Brisbane Roar game tomorrow, just to draw level. What a campaign from the Mac. 15 goals in 17 games. Anna Policina and Amelia Murray are coming on, and it's another of the goal scorers, Briley Henry, who is also making way. So Henry's good goal scoring run continues. She's got her 4th of the season, and they've all come in the space of 7 games. And Amelia Murray, who's been one of the unlucky players just waiting for minutes, really even making the bench this campaign, on for just her 4th appearance of the Ninja A-League season. We did see her briefly in the Women's Champions League quarter-final as well. Rossbacken. Hughes. Murray. Straight into the action. Amelia Murray. Hughes caught in possession by Cassidy. Kostelakis coming in to help out, and Melbourne City have just got numbers overflowing in midfield, but an errant pass or getting caught in possession, there's always someone there to clean it up, and it's Davidson this time, who steers it back to Rossbacken. Finds its way back to Milena Mires. Chinema. Letitia McKenna. Naomi Chinema with a header. Now Dalton just kicks it into open field, and that will be goalkeeper's ball. Bosch. Driving away from Chinema is Bosch. Just a little late to the pass over to the left flank. Glory got numbers back to cover. Bosch goes again, and free kick given. Chinema is going to get yellow carded as well. So Perth now have 2 defenders on a card. Chinema and Zog, both in the referee's book. Here's another look at the foul from Chinema. Coming in from behind, you're always at risk of getting a card. Just updated the numbers for Holly McNamara's season. 65 minutes tonight for one more goal. 15 goals in 866 minutes. That's a goal every 58 minutes this season. Just an incredible strike rate, truly extraordinary. There was a graphic on A-League social media this week showing historically the best per minute goal scorers in the history of the competition. Well, Holly McNamara is equal or better than most. Here's a free kick for Letitia McKenna. She is shooting direct and scoring! Letitia McKenna returning to Perth and putting Melbourne City 5-1 up. All smiles in that huddle. And McKenna bent it towards the top left, and even though Casey Dumont got a chunk of it, was not able to keep it out. 5th goal of the season for McKenna. And it is her first career goal in 8 appearances against the Glory. Casey Dumont stands disappointed, but McKenna, it's her 10th career goal. and half of them have come in this campaign alone. 115 career games, 10 career goals now. And yes, 115 career games at just 22 years of age. Letitia McKenna has had, you'd have to say now it is her career best season, you'd have to say. 5 goals in 23 games. Perth venturing forward and a big collision. Fonson Cam and Stott. Stott bounced right back up. Fonson Cam has stayed down. Here's another look at Fonson Cam. Well, led with the right foot. And that was the point of contact. It's seemingly the right shin above the shin guard that's taken most of the impact here. Physio's out speaking to Susan Fonson Cam, who is only playing her 6th appearance of the season due to a long-term foot injury that she did suffer in September. The Glory have Ella Lincoln warming up on the sideline here. Fonson Cam's focus has perhaps turned to why she didn't get a foul. So Tiana Gauci there in the background briefing Ella Lincoln in the orange substitutes bib. Foletta's going to take the throw and play does restart, but it looks as though Lincoln, who was the top scorer in NPL West Australia and has broken through for her first Ninja A-League goal this season, might be getting her chance for a few minutes here. And the fans are giving a round of applause and encouragement to Susan Fonson Cam as she walks off under her own steam. Throw-in is straight out for a goal kick. So Fonson Cam back up and on for now, and Ella Lincoln goes to the bench and has to wait. We're into the last 20 minutes of regulation time. Melbourne City set to be premiers tonight. Consecutive finishes on the top of the Ninja A-League. Bosch against Tiana McKenna and Izzy Folletta, both snapping at the heels. Chani, Melbourne City coach, working on dispassionately at present. Davidson caught in possession by Dalton. Kelly Brown frees the feet, and the shot was blocked by Otto. City driving out of defence, and Bosch is chasing into open territory. Dumont staying back on the line, so Bosch can wheel into the penalty area here. Takes on Chinema, and even though Chinema's on a yellow, she does commit to the slide challenge and puts it behind for a corner. Good defending by Chinema, 20-year-old. Get that wrong, it's a penalty and it's a red card, but she got it spot on. Alexia Apostolakis' corners, which have proven an absolute weapon for City tonight, will once again be raining down on the Perth penalty area. Apostolakis, a high looping corner. Dumont with one outstretched fist. McKenna's volley, and not retrievable for Apostolakis. Dumont's arguing she was fouled in the pack of players. It ends up being a goal kick.
Substitution for Melbourne City, coming up number 13, Rebecca Stott, replaced by number 27.
Melbourne City perhaps seeing the wisdom in subbing out Rebecca Stott, given she is on a yellow card for TJ Blanich, the veteran defender. Might lead to a bit of a reshuffle, or maybe we're going to see Blanich play at centre-back. And at the other end of the experience scale, 16-year-old Shelby McMahon will be coming on for Laura Hughes here. So the captain and one of the stars of the season, Hughes, take their leave. They'll be back on semi-final weekend. It's all smiles on the bench. And on comes Vlanic for career appearance number 108 in the Ninja A-League. And McMahon, even though she is only 16, for appearance number 22. It is worth remembering that this time last season, the final home and away round, it was Shelby McMahon who scored one of the goals that helped City secure the Premier's Plate with what that afternoon was a 2-1 win. Policina, cleared by Chinema. Mahn's first touch. Davidson. McKenna to Murray. Amelia Murray. Burst of acceleration. Zog sticking to her. Only Zog did well to stop Amelia Murray blazing past. Adelaide City have got all their outfield bench players on. They are starved of game time, and so they don't want to let up. They want to score. They want to remind the coach that they should be in the mix to get more game time or even start. Amelia Murray, originally from Albury-Wodonga, but started her A-League women's career at Adelaide. Policina, neat little step to try and outfox Anderson, threads it on. Davidson tried to cut inside. Policina follows up. Bosch is there, and the ball is driven wide. Good defending from Folletta to stifle the shooting motion of Lourdes Bosch. Seeing Leah Davidson break into the penalty area there, she only has one career goal in the Ninja A-League, so maybe she's having thoughts about trying to double her career tally. Chinham. Stephen Peters, first season in charge of the Glory, will be coming back next campaign. Interesting to see what direction Glory take the squad. It's been such a turbulent season with injury replacement players and having to find contingency plans. I'm sure they would just love whoever they recruit to be stable and reliable and give them the best possible chance of getting back into the top six. It's been quite a while, of course. They did lose the 2019 grand final to Sydney FC. Sam Kerr's last season in the A-League women's competition. COVID hit Perth harder than most, and particularly in the A-League women's. They haven't been back to the finals since, either in the top 4 or top 6 format. Anderson, long ball, and it does catch the head of Taylor Otto, which means it's an easy collect for Milena Mears. Davidson. Bosch caught by Chinema. So it looks as though the reorganisation for City has been Alexia Apostolakis going into centre-back. It's a position we've seen her play for the young Matildas on a regular basis when she was age-eligible, or still is age-eligible for that team. It means TJ Vlanic has gone to left-back and Carly Rossbacken to right-back. So with one sub, City have repositioned 3 of their back 4. Kelly Brown down here. And we are going to see Ella Lincoln come on. And it is going to be for Susan Fonson-Cam. So even though Fonson-Cam ran off that previous knock, she is leaving the game soon after. And it is another homegrown Perth player and a local favourite coming on. Lincoln, who turned 21 during the course of the season, did score her first Ninja A-League goal back on the 1st of March away in Newcastle. She'd love to get one in front of the home fans, though, and she's got just over 10 minutes to do it here as Perth try to do some cosmetic repair to this 5-1 deficit that they currently face. Throw in. McMahon. Murray. Pass intercepted. Johnston's long ball. Bosch, little tap of the ankles there from Folletta, and that will be a free kick. Lourdes Bosch, the assist leader in the Ninja A-League. Doesn't quite have the same prestige or a trophy attached, like the Golden Boot, but I'm sure there'll be clubs, not just in North America, but possibly in Europe as well, having a close look at Lourdes Bosch. Johnston, first time cross, and a header. What a great chance that Perth have missed. Disappointment for Dalton. Well, that should have been back to 5-2. And Izzy Dalton knows it. Johnston's cross. Mirez out of the equation, and it needed a header down. Instead, it was a header that slid on. Apostolakis. Rossbacken. Bosch at full speed, tried to thread through Policina, who protests to the referee that she was being held, but Dumont was able to come out and claim the ball. Brown. Now Lincoln. She is a speedster, but she's going to bide her time here against Apostolakis. Folletta, free kick. A wide free kick coming up for the Glory. Just a closer look at Bosch tangled legs with Izzy Folletta. So here comes a set-piece opportunity for Kelly Brown. Who's she aiming for, though? Moni Zog hit the crossbar in the first half and had the shot on goal, which led to Perth Glory winning a penalty. She's not even in this line of players because she's well beyond the post. She's at the edge of the penalty area and now making a very late run, but perhaps Kelly Brown had designs on going direct.
Substitution for Melbourne City coming off number 24, Malena, replaced by number 23, Melissa Barbieri.
And for the second game in a row, Melbourne City are going to replace Milena Mirez, their goalkeeper, with Melissa Barbieri.
It's the closest
As I said last week when this happened, every time Melissa Barbieri comes on, she breaks the record for the oldest player in league history. So Milena Mires seemingly not too happy about being made to walk around the perimeter. And I think Melissa Barbieri is going to come on via the perimeter in order to say thank you, goalkeeper. And you can see the excitement of Barbieri at 45 years young, coming on to make her 110th A-League women's appearance. And third of the season, too. So Barbieri clearing. Bosch. Rossbacken making a forward run. Bosch honours the run. Rossbacken trying to get there before Dalton. The back pass, a shallow one. It's nearly Murray coming in. And instead the ball is cleared away. Casey Dumont's claiming it took a deflection off Amelia Murray. Doesn't matter if you're 5-1 down in the last game of the season and missing finals. Competitors compete. Casey Dumont arguing with the assistant referee right to the end. Chinema's header. Bosch. McMahon. Davidson. McMahon. McKenna, scorer of City's 5th goal, and the only goal we've seen in this second half. She might be about to turn provider here. McKenna, and a good clearance by Chinema. Zog out to the safety of a throw-in. So we're into the last 5 minutes of regulation now. Melbourne City set to complete an undefeated home and away season. Polisina here against the line. And able to turn. Cassidy came in with a solid challenge. And now Perth with Kelly Brown. There's no one else ahead of the ball, so hard to keep it moving. Rossbacken. Tian McKenna. Folletta. McMahon, so comfortable on the ball, the 16-year-old. And here's McMahon again. Wasn't actually named in the Junior Matildas under-17 squad during the week because she's already a mainstay of the under-20s, the young Matildas. That's where you can expect her to be playing a representative football, at least in the short term. Here's Apostolakis. Polisina. McMahon driving out to the left. Murray, is she away? Zog gets goal side. Amelia Murray not able to power past. And Zog makes a good challenge. And as Lincoln goes to ground, it's a free kick to Perth. Colorado from centre back to commit the foul. Long ball here, which is going to end up with Folletta. Spins inside, Lincoln. Folletta, corner kick. Speed Perth Glory home crowd want one more goal to cheer here. Here's some of the younger fans still making a noise. Kelly Brown set to take the corner. Hangs it high. Otto clears it off the legs, and now Polisina goes to ground. It's going to sit up in the box. Anderson. McKenna bounces on. And now the shot is saved. Barbieri foils Lincoln. The outstretched left hand of Melissa Barbieri makes an important save. Polisena. Shinema for Perth. They can turn and attack again. Kelly Brown. Unable to beat Vlanich. Murray. Johnston's cross. Now at the edge of the box, Tian McKenna. Barbieri being made to work. So right to the end of the night, Perth have kept creating. Think of the Izzy Dalton header, which was on the goal line and skewed wide. Now Ella Lincoln and Tian McKenna have been foiled. And Lincoln is going to roll past Apostolakis, and it's good defending from the 18-year-old, who is now at centre-back for Melbourne City. Ella Lincoln. He's got great penalty box awareness, the striker, and was nearly away there. But it is another corner for Kelly Brown. High to the back post, and Barbieri with a confident claim. And so, how many more minutes? 5 more minutes before Melbourne City can confirm an invincible home and away season. It's worth remembering, in the history of the A-League Women's, the other teams that went undefeated through an entire home and away campaign. Canberra in 2012, 10 games. City in 2016, 12 games. And City in 2020, 12 games. This is more than double. This is a 23-game home and away season. Full home and away plus Unite round. And City's Unite round, let's not forget, was an additional meeting against the defending champions, Sydney FC. Bosch. Cleared away and to the safety of the line with a deflection, so it's a Perth throw. Long ball that Perth can chase here. Dalton striving after the ball, but all in vain because the offside flag goes up. Much to the disappointment of Stephen Peters. So the head-to-heads between these two teams, 5-2 in Melbourne City's favour when they met at Control Cyber Pitch in round 1. And as it stands, 5-1. Sam Kerr Football Centre in the very last round of the season. City trying to change that now to 6th. Bosch is shooting from distance. Lourdes Bosch hasn't scored since the 5th of February, so maybe just wanting to feel that goal-scoring sensation again here. That one was always heading wide. Folletta. Barbieri able to collect. Apostolakis caught in possession, but Folletta slides and can't keep the ball in. Perth Glory committing numbers forward. City are about to enjoy a moment of celebration. They don't want to bring it in by conceding a goal. And they're not going to in this phase of play because Bosch is going to foul McKenna. A bit of white line fever starting to bubble to the surface right at the end of a night. A tough night for the Glory. McKenna is being called in by the referee for a chat. But a chat's all it's going to be, no card to go with it. McKenna taking exception to that foul from Lourdes Bosch. So into the final minute of Melbourne City's home and away season. It's going to take some beating as the best home and away campaign we might ever see in the Ninja A-League. It's been far from flawless, but it hasn't come with a single defeat. And ultimately, they're going to be winners and big winners here in the final round and do it in emphatic fashion. If anything, it's a credit to Melbourne Victory. They pushed them right to the final game. In many instances, you'd expect an unbeaten team to be wrapping up the premiership with games to spare, but Melbourne City have gone right to the finish line in the dying seconds of their season here. They will get to enjoy this for an extra weekend before they turn out for their semi-final against the lowest advancing seed from the elimination final winners. Perth want one more for the road, but Johnston, who has delivered some good crosses in this game, can't get purchase here. Whistles in the mouth. An undefeated home and away campaign is complete for Melbourne City. The first trophy is in their grasp, and the quest for an invincible season will now turn to finals. But they have proven unbeatable through 23 games, 16 wins, 7 draws, 0 defeats. It is an outpouring of celebration for Melbourne City. A full home and away season plus the extra game for Unite round. And they have not been toppled once. They were headed, they had comebacks, but they ultimately were never beaten. And you can see what it means to these players. It is a piece of history in the Ninja A-League. It's the 4th time that a team has gone through an entire home and away season undefeated, but this is the first time it has been a proper home and away season, because the previous time a team had done it, it was only 12 games. This time, more than double, 23 in total. All smiles for the winners at full time. Perth bow out at the Sandcur Football Centre, having given us great entertainment, but it's Melbourne City who are the premiers. Perth Glory 1, Melbourne City 5. So let's go to the highlights. The majority of scoring done in the first half, and it didn't take long for Melbourne City to show their claws, their teeth, and a cutting edge. Use whatever simile